If we want a competitive Europe which creates jobs, then people and goods have to be able to move around easily and quickly, and without harming the environment. That's the aim of the Trans-European Transport Network, a huge continental-scale programme that will interconnect the national transport infrastructures to create a genuine trans-European network.
Un réseau transeuropéen, c'est vraiment le maillage qui permet une libre circulation des personnes et des biens en Europe. Nous avons besoin de ces grands axes ferroviaires, fluviaux, maritimes, routiers, autoroutiers. Il faut que du nord au sud et de l'est à l'ouest, il y ait une circulation sans congestion. Cette congestion qui coûte aujourd'hui pratiquement l'équivalent du budget européen, 1% du produit intérieur brut.
Although initiated at the beginning of the 90s, the Trans-European Transport Network has not yet attained its ambitious goals. It's run into financing problems and difficulties with cross-border coordination. Meanwhile, road traffic in Europe is constantly on the rise. However, solutions exist. Goods transported by road today can be switched to other, less polluting means of transport, such as rail, waterways or sea transport. This is referred to as modal transfer, or moving from one mode of transport to another that is less used. This solution is strongly encouraged by Europe. In this context, rail offers important potential for easing traffic on major trans-European roads. That's why the European Union wants to reinvigorate trans-European railway projects. It's identified 5 fundamental railway axes where progress is not being made quickly enough due to difficulties of various kinds. To give impetus to these projects, the European Union has appointed important public figures to serve as European coordinators for the different axes. Their assignment is to bring the member states involved together to come up with solutions to the problems and to speed up project execution. Pavel Telicka is one of those coordinators. He plays the role of locomotive for the Warsaw-Helsinki rail axis, also known as Rail Baltica.
The role practically is to facilitate through more or less a political coordination, all the steps and all the works that are to lead to implementing the project Rail Baltica, and that is building the north-south track, which would be integrating these new member states with the rest of the European Union in terms of transport infrastructure.
Rail Baltica will cross Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania and Poland. During the initial phase, the Commission decided to study traffic demand, technical solutions and the alignment of new railway lines. However, this project requires detailed coordination between the 3 Baltic states. At present, railway infrastructure in these countries is not well developed, and north-south traffic is anything but dense, with most traffic moving from east to west. We're on the platform of Kaunas train station. Kaunas is the 2nd biggest city in Lithuania after Vilnius. Even at peak traffic times, the number of passenger trains can be counted on one hand.
Of course, the human dimension, the human links, and the fact that you can travel from Tallinn to Warsaw just in hours and not days as it is today will be of significant importance. On the other hand, I think that the volume of the freight transport will be the means that will be really financing and will be profitable.
The Baltic states don't currently use their railway infrastructure for north-south traffic. The infrastructure in these countries was designed according to Russian track gauge standards. As a result, the network is slow and is not interoperable with the Polish and German networks. This is the Sestokai train station, a few kilometers from the border with Lithuania and Poland. On this brief cross-border section, European and Russian track gauge standards coexist. Freight trains experience considerable delays on this axis because in order to be able to continue on its way, freight from Poland has to be loaded onto another train that meets Russian standards.
The major, I would say, element that we need to recognize is that this project is viable on its own and not dependent on other projects. That is absolutely crucial. The fact that it will further develop the infrastructure in the region, that it will, of course, establish connectivity with other lines, including the East-West, is an added value to it. You have mentioned Minsk, Moscow. We can, of course, mention St. Petersburg also, where we do have the rail, but where there is a need for modernization of some bridges, of some parts of it. And again, that will build up to the viability of this project.
In time, the new rail lines and the improvement of existing lines throughout the network will enable millions of Europeans and companies to enjoy better mobility on a continental scale. That's essential for a more competitive Europe.